Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to do a book wrap up from March, talk about all of the books that I read in March, give a little insight on all of them, and rate them out of 5 stars. So I hope you enjoy this video. So this month, for the month of March, I read 3 books, and I was able to get all 3 books from the public library. So I don't have them with me to be able to show them to you, but I will make sure that I put a clip of the cover somewhere on the screen here so that you can see what they look like. So the first book that I started off in March with was, I feel like that was like a tongue twister, was Before I Do by Sophie Cousins. Before I Do is a romance novel, and it follows the young character Audrey, who is about to get married to Josh. And as she's about to get married to Josh, like the night before the wedding, the rehearsal dinner, all of these things like start happening, and she kind of takes them as bad omens. She kind of feels like she is cursed, that she's not allowed to be happy, and that things are going to go wrong. And one of the things that kind of go wrong is her fiance's sister brings a date to the rehearsal dinner, and this date is actually Audrey's what if guy. And what if things would have been different? And so the book kind of follows that storyline. Like it goes back in time, and then it goes to the current dates, and it kind of jumps around. Like it'll go back 5 years and then come back the night before the wedding, and then go back another 3 years and then the night before the wedding. And so I felt like the timeline got a little much because we were going back. I would get a little bit lost, I guess, in the timeline, but it had a very cute story to it. I enjoyed it. So it's just a nice little romance book. I had a hard time getting into the storyline when I first started reading it. Like it was really hard to get into it because I just really like the going back and forth with the timeline was a little bit hard to connect with. But then I really started getting into the book about mid-book, especially when they started talking about how Audrey and Josh met and how they became a couple. That was really fun to read. But then towards the end of the book, it did start getting a little bit more of like a Lifetime movie, cheesy type of feel to the book. And so then I looked it up, and the author of Before I Do actually worked in television, which makes complete sense because this book I felt was like written like a movie. So it was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite book. So I did rate this book 2 stars out of 5. I just felt like there was a lot of cheesiness at the end of the book, and that's not really my thing. I'm really starting to see that I really don't like books that have like that kind of cheesiness. And just to give an example, and this might be a little bit of a spoiler, but at one point in the book, the main character is like singing like to a musical. Like there's people that she doesn't even know joining in on her doing this musical number in the middle of a hotel, and I'm just like, okay, this is a little too cheesy for me. So that is why I kind of rate it low on the 2-star thing. Plus it was kind of hard to get into the book with everything that kind of goes on with her. You even get to go into like her mother's past relationships, which I kind of feel tie into Audrey and why she's having doubts. But still, it would just seem like a lot of different characters that you were trying to keep up with. So that was my very first book in March. Then my second book I read like so fast. A Beautiful Disaster was the second book I read, and I was able to grab this one from the movie. I decided to read this one, if you've seen my other videos, because I talked about it a lot, but I decided to read this one because I saw the movie trailer, and the movie is coming out, I believe, next week on the 12th and 13th of April. But I saw the movie trailer, it looked really good, and then I saw that it was a book, and I was like, I want to read the book before the movie comes out, so that's what I did. Luckily, the library had the book, so I was able to get it. The book follows the characters Abby and Travis. They start off as friends, and then they start kind of building this relationship, The relationship is definitely toxic. There's a lot of toxic things that happen in the relationship where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like the communication is not there. There's codependency. There's just all kinds of toxic stuff in the relationship. But I really did enjoy the book, and I found myself not able to put this book down. Like, I was staying up super late just so I could read the next chapter, just so I could know what was going to happen. I think I finished the book like within a few days. I think I started it on a Wednesday, and by that Friday I was done, or that Saturday morning I was done with the book. But it was super good, and I really enjoyed it. I did go ahead and purchase the other books that go with it. There's Walking Disaster and then A Beautiful Wedding. I have not read them yet. I plan to read them soon because I did enjoy that book, and I'm hoping they're just as good as A Beautiful Disaster. And I hope that it keeps me longing for that next chapter, just like Beautiful Disaster did. So I did rate this book 5 stars because it did keep me so entertained, and it did keep me wanting to keep reading. I love when a book can do that. And I can't wait to see the movie and kind of compare them. So they did say something about like it's only going to be in theaters, so I'm really hoping they release it online soon. So I have no idea because I don't think my small town theater is going to get it in. So Crescent City is another series by Sarah J. Maas. Now I saw this one on the shelf and I wasn't going to get it because I had just finished the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I kind of wanted just like kind of simple reads in between. But then I saw it and I was like, I really love Sarah J. Maas and I would really like to read this book. So I went ahead and grabbed it, and it became my 3rd book of March. And this is what I thought about it. Crescent City, A House of Earth and Blood follows Bryce and Hunt. There's also like some murder mystery going on in the book. There is a murder that takes place. I'm not going to give too many details because I don't want to have a spoiler in it. But then you have to like figure out who did the murders. Like, it's solving this. There's a lot of mystery in this book. I will say when I started the book, there was a lot of like character building and world building in the beginning that I was almost like, oh my gosh, this is almost too much. But then once you got past that and the storyline started to pick up and you really started to play like detective and finding out who was doing the murders in Crescent City, then it got really interesting and I fell in love with the book and it became something that I couldn't put down. Now this book took me the longest out of the month because it was such a big book. I think it's close to 800 pages. And like I said in the beginning took me a while to really get into it because of the world building. And it just seemed like there was a lot of information right off the bat. I did love the book series enough where I did get the 2nd book to the series, and I know there's a 3rd book coming out next year in 2024, January of 2024. I honestly am going to rate this book 5 stars because although it was slow at the very beginning, I really got into the storyline and I really enjoyed it. I loved all the action. I loved all of it. And so I would give this book 5 stars. Sarah J. Maas did not disappoint with this series either. I would love to read Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass series 2 because I've already read 2 of her series and I absolutely love them. So I feel like I need to read A Throne of Glass, but I'm not going to do that until later in the year. So, but I did get the 2nd book to this. I think it's going to be really good. And I heard that it leaves you off with like a cliffhanger. So I'm excited for that, but I'm not. So that's it. That's my March reads. I read 3 books for the month of March, and I am really excited. I've already hit the ground running for my April reads, and I'll be excited to share those with you. I do need to do like a book haul or some sort of to be read book thing because I have still been purchasing a lot of books, and I would love to share what I have with you. Let me know what you are reading in the comments below, or if you've read any of these 3 books and what you thought about them. I would love to hear with you. I would love to open up that communication and chat with you. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, click subscribe with the little bell so you get notified when I post my next video. Thanks for watching.